I love you.
Because it's damn sexy, that's why. Hello. Welcome back to Green and Faceless on the Couch. I'm the Green Traveler, and I cannot do impressions.
I am Faceless Leon. And... and I'm not going to be able to keep it up. One time...
Sean Connery.
I do enjoy him as
I'm sorry I butchered your voice.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, good sir.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how mine sounds either. I guess we're going to find out here when we edit. But I did one time, and the Green Traveler was there, have a character that I tried to have a Sean Connery accent when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons. I just admitted to the world that we're nerds, and I think that they could figure that out by listening, but that's it.
Yeah.
I tried to make this inspector guy have a Sean Connery accent, and I could not keep it up. It was so hard.
Yeah, unless you're really good at impressions, it's actually kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even do a good one.
I feel like I do it okay for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and then maybe not even that.
50 no's and a yes still means yes.
Anyhow, we're back at the Bond playlist.
Yes.
And you said the title, From Russia with Love.
Not to be confused with the John Travolta movie From Paris with Love.
Yeah. I thought
they're both god awful.
Yeah, I thought maybe they have something in common, but they don't.
They have the fact that they're both god awful in common.
I see. So, though, okay, I think I'm gonna have to take your word for it. That it was bad. Because when I stopped paying attention was right. What?
You talking From Russia with Love when you stopped paying attention?
Yeah. Was right when the Romani camp was being raided.
Yeah.
Because
when they were in Istanbul?
When they were in Istanbul and they were at this camp, these ladies had a cat fight over a guy.
Yeah, right after a belly dancer.
Right after the belly dancer.
Yeah.
But like I had to like look up. I pulled out my phone and I started looking this shit up. I was like, what the hell is this?
In my notes, that was the part where I said I stopped paying attention and now there's just a belly dancer on the screen for the last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That's in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the exact time where I just realized I don't know what the fuck's going on and I really just don't care. Like
I was following it up to that point. Honestly, I
was following it, but I didn't get it. I didn't care for it. I was like,
didn't care for what was going on.
Yeah, let's set it up.
We skipped a few steps here.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, that's Bond. He's always skipping the steps.
Yeah, that's true. Like somebody, and maybe that's supposed to like represent that somebody else is always ahead of what's going on. He's just barely on the trail. And he's just catching up. Maybe it's designed.
I feel like he's just a sleazebag, and the villains get ahead of him because he's a sleazebag and he's paying attention to the women and not to the job that he's supposed to be fucking doing.
Yeah, but I mean, this time he knew it was a trap.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah. So Spectre, I don't remember what Spectre wants to do, but they set a plot for
they want
MI6.
Yeah, they just want to give him misinformation.
Yeah, and so they hire a pretty girl who Tatiana Romanova, or sorry, as they pronounce it in the movie, Romanova.
Yeah.
But they hire her, making her think that she's working for the for SMERSH, which is the Russian spy agency. SMERSH.
When did it become KBG? Or is that even right?
KGB? I don't know if SMERSH is a real thing. It might not be. It could have been just a funny spy name for Ian Fleming to write.
We've had a listener in Russia, so if we
I'm sorry if we've offended him.
Yeah.
He's a true potato. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Which also I should say, we didn't remember what Spectre was
the acronym.
what it meant for, yeah, and I wrote it down this time. And it makes just as much sense as you would expect it to make. It's a special executive for counterintelligence, terrorism, revenge, and extortion. Special executive.
Special executive.
Yeah, Spectre's trying to misfeed information to MI6, pit them against SMERSH, and at the same time, pitting SMERSH against MI6. So it's like causing a war among them. And if they can humiliate Bond along the way, who was responsible for, their failure in the last movie, then that's great. Let's humiliate Bond.
Yeah, it's a weird revenge plot.
Yeah, it's really stupid. And like the MI6 is like, we know it's a trap. And SMERSH is like, we know it's a trap. It's like everybody's in on the fucking game, and yet they all go for it because, fuck it, we're bored, I guess.
Oh, man.
Maybe we'll get some real information with the misinformation. Like, I don't care. Like, this whole plot is dumb.
Yeah,
and it's longer than the first movie. I
do like, though, the stuff that they did on Spectre Island. That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
They're being trained and stuff, and there's some fun characters in this movie.
Okay, but let's talk about that training. Yeah. Okay, the movie opens up with Quinn from Jaws, the shark hunter. He's an assassin, and he's an assassin for Spectre. Sorry, his real name is Robert Shaw, and Robert Shaw is he's hunting in the dead of night on this mansion grounds. I don't know where they were at. Spectre headquarters. And there's a body double of James Bond walking around who Quinn is hunting. And then Quinn kills that body double, to prove that, I guess, he's a good assassin. He saw somebody that looked like James Bond and he killed him. They're losing their own men.
I know.
They literally killed their own agents. And why did the other agent who decided, I want to be the James Bond in this role, like, why? I don't think he
decided that he was. I think he was elected to it. I don't think he was like, I'll put my name in the pool for this. Yeah, sure. I think that they were like, okay, I don't like this guy. You're going to be Bond today.
So why did he get the fuck out?
Why he was trying to.
No, he wasn't. He was just going from shrub to shrub. He wasn't trying to get the fuck out of anywhere. He was just trying to hide from an assassin.
Maybe they abducted someone, and then they made him into James Bond, and then they're like, okay, bye.
And so that's the next question. How do you know that your assassin is ready to kill James Bond when they literally just killed a dude that looks like James Bond? He's not James Bond. They're not killing the guy.
All right, listen. Okay. So they train Robert Shaw's character,
Quinn from Jaws,
the way that they showed it, right? They train the James Bond double as if he's going to be supplanting James Bond. And this way they're hedging their bets, and whoever wins gets the mission. That's the mission they take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. And then later when number 3 of Spectre, who is a fake Russian commander, she's no longer part of the SMERSH. She's part of Spectre. She's number 3. She's not British SMERSH. When she goes to their training ground, she's inspecting their training grounds. And the guy who's in charge of the training grounds is like, well, she says something along the lines of like, just, training doesn't do much. You got to have real experience. And he's like, yes, we like to use live targets as well. And I'm like, how many of your own people do you kill? and why are they part of your organization when you openly kill people in the organization?
They got them from Henchmen Inc. It's just part of the job,
They're just loaned. They're just temps.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, man.
That's like Venture Brothers or something like that.
Yeah. That scene also ends, by the way, with number 3 putting on brass knuckles and punching Robert Shaw in the gut. and then
Yeah.
determining that he's ready because he didn't flinch, even though he flinched a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just got punched.
Plus, she's an old lady. I mean, like, just because she's wearing brass knuckles doesn't mean that it's an incredible feat that he was like, like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been punched with brass knuckles, so but I've been punched before.
Yeah. By an old lady. I've been punched by an old lady, and I mean, it does kind of hurt, but it hurts more on your soul.
uh, I feel like there is a story there, but I don't know.
No, not really. The training stuff, like it's interesting with Spectre, but I think what really interests me with Spectre is the inner workings of the group. You know, you get to meet numbers 1, 3, and 5.
Right.
And Blofeld, you know, I don't know if they gave him his name in this movie, but Blofeld is number 1 of Spectre. The only reason my continuity viewpoint that I'm going to watch these movies with is kind of ruined is because of Blofeld. Because, you know, in the new movie, Christoph Waltz plays Blofeld.
That's true.
It kind of ruins my continuity viewpoint because, you know, that's not a name, or that's not a title. That's literally just a guy's name. But anyways, they don't show his face in this. You know, they show just him petting a cat. You know, that iconic, you know, evil guy with the cat.
That's where it comes from, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is the origin of that.
Yeah, and it's so good. Like, I really actually, that's the one thing I really liked about this movie, is keeping him mysterious makes him more intriguing.
Yeah, it makes you intrigued for a third movie. Yeah, I gotta say, I really kind of liked the opening of this more than the opening of the other one. At least when James first gets to Istanbul. I enjoyed that scene, the setup of his relationship with characters and stuff like that, much more than in the other one. I'm not sure why. Yeah. It could be because of Ali Karim Bey.
Ali Karim Bey?
Yeah, Ali Karim Bey.
Ali Karim Bey.
He was...
God, I could not stand that girl.
Really... He was good. I liked the way he was portrayed.
He's a fun supporting character. Just like with Quarter or Quarrel or whatever that guy's name was in the first movie. Yeah. They just fucking toss him aside. When they're done with his character, they're just like, fuck him.
I feel like James seems quite a bit more remorseful to have lost Ali Karim Bey than Coral, which is a shame because Coral was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I like Coral.
Ali Karim Bey is, you know, he's just a good character. Like he's
a well-rounded character. Yeah, he really is. They gave him a whole life. Did you say
well-rounded or well-bonded?
I said well-rounded, and he is one of the more round characters too, in stature. But anyhow, he's got a whole life. He's got a whole family, several sons who work for him, which I think is good. I just like his story in general. I'm just sad that he died.
Yeah, just like Bond, throughout this entire movie, though, he objectifies women absurdly a lot. Like Bond is just terrible to women in this whole movie. And Ali Karim Bey is just kind of like ignores them and is just like, you know, they have a place. Yeah. Yeah, this is like one of the worst Bond movies to women, and we've only watched 2 of them, and I already know that this has to be one of the worst.
I hope so.
Yeah, he like punches Tatiana. Well, it's like he punches her, he slaps her, and then like 10 seconds later, she's like, I love you, like stop it. You know, I'm just like, this is so gross. Like, I hate it. Like, he's just god awful to her. And, like, I don't understand her motivations throughout the whole movie either.
Well, I mean, at first, she's obviously just doing her job, she thinks.
Yeah, she's just a spy. But the problem is, I don't know where it crosses over, where she stops being a spy and where she starts actually, like, liking Bond. And then it happens somewhere. It feels like it happens somewhere in the middle, but then at the very end of the movie, there's a moment where she's pointing a gun at number 3 and at James Bond, and she can't decide which one to shoot, and she's like pointing it back and forth, like, who do I kill? And I'm like, have you really not made this decision by now? Like,
yeah.
I don't understand your character. Like,
I mean,
kind of just assumed to happen in the second act.
I mean, she's definitely, I don't want to say definitely, but I feel like what they're trying to convey is that she was, brainwashed to do exactly what she was told, no matter what, because it's for the better of the state, I don't know. Maybe that could be her reasoning, the reasoning behind why it's so hard for her to choose at the end.
Yeah.
But this movie, it ends the same way as the first movie.
Well, I feel like this one ends absurdly worse than the first movie.
I'm just mean the last shot.
Oh, yeah. Literally, it is literally like the exact same kind of ending with Bond and a woman lost at sea.
Sex in a boat.
Sex in a boat. Which, okay, yeah, let's go back a little bit before we get to the sex in the boat. There's also sex on a film. They capture Bond having sex. And, like, it's so scandalous, but then I'm just like, it's fucking James Bond. Like,
yeah, he has sex with everyone. You don't know this?
He spends this entire movie just, like, trying to get laid.
Right.
And, like, again, it was non-consensually caught on camera, so I get it. It's bad. But I just feel like if it got released, it wouldn't be the worst thing to James Bond's career. Like, I don't think he would
I think M would receive it and be like, okay. I mean, that particular mission, we knew that might be a possibility. Yeah. Like, I mean, he was going to go meet somebody who sent him basically a love letter.
M would receive the tapes and be like, we have our own tapes. Like, who cares? We have him sleeping with everybody.
Moneypenny really likes these.
There's even a moment where they're listening to M and like a bunch of other higher ups of MI6 are listening to Bond recording like a talk, and he's like, well, one time me and M were out at such and such place, and then like M just stops the recording and like asks Miss Moneypenny, he's like, can you get out of here? It's just like Bond's about to talk about a sexual exploit between me and him and another person. It's just like when he starts that conversation, it's hilarious, but at the same time I'm like, I don't see M ever having that kind of joviality with James Bond, like.
Well, maybe he like was just recently promoted to M, and he was a 00.
Yeah.
And he and Bond had some missions when Bond was younger.
Knowing that M was listening in, he's just like, this will make him laugh.
Yeah.
I'll get a smile off that bastard soon.
That's probably more what was going on. Well, man, I mean, I feel like
we got more.
You got more?
I got more to bitch about, man.
All right. Hey, I mean, I wouldn't mind talking about the Romani scene a little bit more too, but I guess I don't know what I want to say about it. So you go.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's also like the exact same as the first film. There was that moment in the first movie where they got together at I don't know if it was a Romani camp, but weren't they? Wasn't there a moment, or am I just like remembering the first time I watched this movie a couple years ago? I don't know.
Maybe that, because I don't recall them going to. I don't know. I don't know.
I just remember them at a camp with Quarrel or Quarter or whatever his name is.
There might have been, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think it was the Romanis. I think it was.
Yeah, it might not have been Romani, but it was the exact same type of scene where it's just Bond and the side characters they'd introduced just watching women doing things. I feel like I remember that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'll look it up and then edit it out.
Okay.
But this movie just felt, I don't know, it just seemed like they just scrapped the first movie and just kept making the exact same shit, and it's just garbage to me.
It's like they made the same movie. It is like in this one, it made it seem that James Bond has a girlfriend.
Yeah,
at least at the beginning, because and they even got the same actor to come back and play the same character from the first one. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what they were doing in the first one, but they were talking about getting together. and then he had to leave.
Well, he can have girlfriends and then just sleep on the side. He's not locked down to any one girl.
No, he's not. He's an international bad boy.
He's just a sleazebag asshole who slaps women.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
The one scene I wanted to talk about was the trains when they got to the train, because that's really all I ever remember about this movie is the train sequence.
Yeah, that train fight. Well, like the whole scene is pretty good.
The build up to what happens with Ali Karimbe, and then just the only problem with it is it's one of the better scenes of the whole movie is that fight scene with Quinn.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, his name's not Quinn in this. It's Red Grant.
Yeah.
Red. He's the assassin. It's a good fight scene between Red and James Bond. But they've ruined everything they've done with this character in this scene. Because before he and Bond meet, this character is completely quiet. He doesn't say a single word throughout the whole movie. I mean, you see him speak in the background. You know, he talks to another person and then they come closer to the camera. But, like, you never hear him speak.
Yeah.
And then when he meets Bond, he goes undercover. You know, he's acting like somebody. And it's really good. And I really enjoy it. And then they discover each other as spies do. And, you know, then they kind of have a face-off where, you know, Red Grant has Bond at gunpoint. And then for no reason whatsoever, he tells Bond everything. Yeah. Tells him the entire plan. Tells him what's going to happen once he kills him and what's going to happen after that.
I mean, like, it's a stereotype not a stereotype, but it's a cliche for a reason, the villain monologue. Because they do it.
Yeah, I know. But here especially, it's like, dude, you're a trained assassin. You got punched in the gut. They declared you were ready for this. Like,
you got your congratulations punch. Get out of here.
but then he just spills the beans, Tommy. Yeah. And it's just so bad. And it's just like, and then after he spills the beans, and he's like, now I'm gonna shoot you, Bond. Ha ha ha. Bond's like, hey, I could offer you 50 gold doubloons. You know, and then he's like, oh, money. Okay. Yeah, you're speaking my language. Yeah, give me some money. Yeah. And Bond's like, there's more in that suitcase up there that's rigged with, you know, explosives. It's the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, you're a trained assassin. How do you know what he's not fucking doing to you right now?
Yeah, that was pretty stupid.
I mean, it sets up the best scene, but it's just dumb.
That fight is pretty good. But I was gonna make another excuse.
Make it
for this movie, but just because I like to do that, I think some interesting conversations come from it. But I really have no excuse for this guy. Why would he do that?
It's really just dumb on Quinn the Shark Hunter's part. It's his better character, let's be honest. He gave a better monologue in that movie than he did in this movie. Although when he was acting as a spy, when he was acting undercover, I thought that was some pretty good acting. I was really enjoying it. And again, you know, even though I hate how James Bond is in this movie, I love Sean Connery, and I think he does. You know, he kills the role. I don't know, it's egregious. And then and after the train scene, it just gets stupid. Like, Bond gets away. He is trapped by what, like 10 or 15 ships, like 15 boats. You know, him and Tatiana are on a boat, and he releases 5 oil tanks into the water and shoots a flare at them, and it causes such a massive wall of flame and burns all of the boats. I'm like,
they all blow up at the same time,
and they're all driven by incompetent people. Like, it shows them like getting closer and closer to each other. It's just like the people in the boat are like, oh fuck,
oh no, and then several of them actually catch on fire.
Right, and it's like, we're headed right for him, and I'm like, yeah, turn the wheel.
I said, like, one of those actors dove head first into fire in the water, and I don't know, you know, I don't know the physics of that. I'm sure there's more water underneath there, but he's gonna get oil all over him.
Right, I was definitely worried for him too, because I saw, like, when I watched that, I was like, I don't know if they have like proper protection gear and stuff.
Yeah. This is the 60s.
Back in
They can do whatever they want.
Right.
Oh.
I guess I didn't really have much more to say than that. You know, I actually stopped this movie halfway through because my mom called me. And then I had a 2-hour talk with her and my dad about how, you know, James Bond was growing up because you know, this is a 1963 movie and my dad was born in 1964. Like, my parents haven't lived a day without James Bond being a thing.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I wanted to see how it was for them when they were growing up. And my mom said, you know, she said she liked the Sean Connery movies, though she doesn't remember them. So, like, I wonder if she goes back if she'd still like them, watching them again. And my dad said he went in for the action and the sex. And I'm like, yep, that's its complete draw, you know.
That's why you watch these movies.
Not to say my dad's a sleazebag. It's just, you know, when you're young and when you're a teenager and you see a poster for a movie that shows James Bond and a barely clad woman, you're like, I might be interested in this movie.
I gotta say, that does draw me. And then I'm like,
right.
You know, this is probably gonna be stupid. And I'm watching movies.
And it's dumb as shit. You want to do closing statements, or do you have more?
Yeah, no, we can do closing statements. But I do have, to start off, the main takeaway I'm having from this is that we're going to have ourselves a Jaws playlist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I would love to review Jaws 4.
I mean, isn't there like 6 or 7 of them?
Maybe. I only remember 4.
I was just thinking about the joke in Back to the Future. It was like Jaws 19 or something like that. 2015, and we should have flying cars. We should.
I don't know how we would regulate that, though.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that we all know, Couch Potatoes, that we didn't really like this movie, but I don't think it deserves maybe no face. I'll give it half a face, but I really didn't enjoy
a waning.
Yeah, waning.
I like that I just like made your review of Moon. I'm sorry.
That's okay. What kind of constellation did it have?
Well, buckle up, Bond fans, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of 2s and less than 2 reviews for me. From Russia with Love gets 1.5 stars.
Yikes.
It's just boring. Like, I just really did not care. I liked Bond. I liked his interaction with the one spy. And I'm sorry, my dog is whining in the background. She doesn't like that I'm being so mean to James Bond. She likes James Bond. But it's just, it's bad. It's an entertaining third act, but the build up to it, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
There's another thing that really irritated me too. Number 5 and number 3 of Spectre meet with number 1 at the end. And number 1's like, number 3, you really failed me this time. James Bond got away and he didn't die. And you know what happens when people fail me? And, you know, this guy's coming up behind him to kill her. And then he just kills number 5. And he's just like, now number 3, you know what to do. And I'm like, number 5 didn't fail you at all. Like, I feel like number 5 actually did his job.
So I always read that scene because right before that, number 5 explains why the situation that they're currently in is actually better than the outcome that they wanted. So he was making an excuse. He was
finding the optimism.
Yeah. He was making an excuse for the failure. And
yet she literally failed. But we'll give her a second chance to fail again.
He doesn't like that form of insolence.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just that whole scene, whenever I watch it, I'm just like, that's so stupid. You literally just killed a guy who's like one of your fucking most intelligent members of your force. He's a chess champion. You keep the strategists with you.
Well, spoilers throughout, Couch Potatoes, but I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, this whole episode's behind a spoiler wall. We're sorry.
Though we couldn't contain ourselves, I guess.
Well, honestly, I don't recommend this movie. So it's like if you're a Bond completionist, obviously watch it. But this is, in my opinion, a bad Bond movie. Like, it's not entertaining. It's, Bond is quite a sleazy asshole throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of one moment where he's not thinking of sex or being, just kind to a woman. Not even Miss Moneypenny. He doesn't really have any good interaction with her.
She's really into him, though.
Yeah, I think she digs the mystique.
Yeah.
Because she can't, be with him because of M would kill her.
Yeah.
Oh, we do get Q for the first time. We've completely forgot about Q. He wasn't technically in the first movie.
Right.
It was somebody else.
The first one, and we got actual spy gadgets in this one too.
Yeah, and it was hilarious.
We talked about that a little bit. Yeah, they're always hilarious, Greg.
Well, yeah, they are. I just love though. He's just like, and here, in this suitcase right here, pink. You got a knife. It's just like, oh shit. And he's just like, inside, it's like, if you undo this strap, you have bullets. And I'm just like, oh fuck, hell yeah. And then he's just like, and then we're gonna put this little can of shaving cream up at the top, and if you open it wrong, it explodes. It's just like, okay.
It's like, don't open it wrong. Oh man.
I'm like, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, James Bond does nothing but drink and have sex. You telling me there's not going to be one time where he just, like, goes to his suitcase and completely forgets? Like,
we talked about this last time. That's why he makes vodka martinis. So he can keep his head clear.
That's true. That's right. Yeah. It's not because he can't take the gin.
Yeah.
Coward.
That's it. Well, let's go.
The night is long and we're done with Bond. It's been a pleasure.
Safe travels, everyone. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of Fiction Works 19. If you want to learn more information about us, check us out on Facebook. You can also check out the Facebook and Instagram accounts of Fiction Works 19. Don't forget to like, follow, comment, or subscribe wherever you catch the show. Thank you all very much for listening.